Alright, hey there guys, it's Metro, and today we are making the promised video that we were going to make on the new Essence system and how the heart interacts with it. Actually looks really cool there when you're looking at that, and I quite like the UI as well. And I also want to show off what it looks like when you learn one, because that's kind of cool on itself. So today we're going to make a list of every single, or kind of give my opinion on every single one that's available currently on the PTR. You can literally just come here and buy them all if you want to test it yourself, but this is going to be a first look at it, okay? So we're going to go through every single one. I'm also going to talk about the next rank. These are all the epic ones, so I don't know exactly where they all come from. We might be able to make an inference, but I'm sure a website like Wowhead might have info on that. But for now, we're going to talk about where you get the legendary ones, because those are the ones that obviously everybody will want. So I'm going to read through all of them. There's also should be known that some are not specific for Blood Death Knight. This is a video for Blood Death Knight, of course. Some are not for Blood DK, so we'll look at those too, but we'll focus on these, okay? Aegis of the Deep, 1.5 minute CD. The elements protect you, reducing the damage you take from each attack by blah, 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 while active heal for blah, 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 okay? That seems like a very good one. Out of the gate, like I haven't looked at any of these yet, but this one already seems like one that I would like, okay? Any type of healing is going to synergize really well with what Blood DK already is doing, so the fact that it's only a 1.5 minute CD, that seems pretty good. Don't forget, though, you only get one of these, so we'll have to try to think about that, right? Which one is actually going to be the best? Also, as a minor power, you gain 113 versatility for each enemy within 10 yards, up to 565 versatility. Additionally, you heal for 1,000, blah, 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 for each stack of Aegis of the Deep on you. Okay, so while below 35% health, the versatility amount is doubled. Interesting. So, I mean, that seems like this seems like a decent one. I don't really know. It seems like it's going to be pretty easy to get because it says next rank, unshackled salvage crates earned through Paragon reputation. So, assumingly, you're going to get this one and it's going to give you, you're going to get it from the rep. Okay, let's say that. So, let's keep moving. Anima of Life and Death, 2-minute cooldown. Draw upon your own vitality to sear your foes, sacrificing 10% of your maximum health to deal fire damage to all nearby enemies equal to that amount. This is one we already saw. It's sounds really good for Blood DK. Heal for 10% of the maximum health per enemy hit, up to a maximum of 50% of maximum health. That seems absolutely insane. I think that's going to work really well for Mythic Plus dungeons, and especially since I'm going to be able to, it's going to sacrifice 10% of my maximum health, which kind of sounds like a bad thing, but as a Blood DK, I'm just instantly going to heal that up, right? So it's actually a really good thing. So yeah, I think this one is probably going to be a really strong pick for 5-mans. Azerite, here's the minor one. Azerite energy courses through your veins, increasing maximum health every 4 seconds, stacking up to 15 times. Effect is lost if you fall below 35% health. That's a little risky in 5-mans. Probably hard to justify, a kiss or curse one like they've been saying, one that has a detriment if you do something wrong. I don't really like that, but it does look like this one's the 5-man one. Complete achievement, Keystone Master in Season 3 or later. And that's where you get the legendary one. We don't know, maybe the epic. I'm probably able to find that out right now, but as of the time making the video, I don't know. So either one, that one sounds great for 5-mans, especially for Blood DK. Azeroth's Undying Gift. Reduce all damage you take by 40% for 2 seconds, then 20% for 2 seconds. For the next 2 seconds, that is. And that's a 45-second CD, and this was actually brought up on stream a couple times this week. This is an insanely good one for Blood DK because the biggest problem you have is the first few seconds of combat. So that type of 40 to 20% reduction for the first 4 seconds of combat is going to really help Blood DK out. And it's only a 45-second CD, so it's basically going to be up every single pack. When you fall below 35% health, gain 15,000 armor for 4 seconds, then 7,500 armor for the next 4 seconds. And that seems also very good for the same reasons. So those seem to be very good. Reach PvP, oh god. Reach Gladiator in the week then claim your next PvP war chest in Season 3 or later. So this is seemingly going to be from PvP. If that's the case, I probably will never have it. I guess, maybe the epic one won't be hard to get, but obviously I'm never going to be getting Gladiator, so that's not going to happen. All right, Engine of Ceaseless Progress. This is the really crazy one. 2-minute cooldown. Create a field of Azerite energy at your current location. While standing in that area, you gain a stack of Engine of Haste, Engine of Mastery, and Engine of Critical Strike every 5 seconds. While inside of Engine of Ceaseless Progress area, take 10% reduced damage. When you activate Engine of Ceaseless Progress, the stack count of Engine of Haste, Engine of Mastery, and Engine of Crit is immediately increased by 100%. Huh? I guess you automatically get one. Is that what it means? I can't really understand that. Anyway, every every 2 seconds, Heart of Azeroth, oh, I see, empowers you with 31 haste, mastery, or crit. After reaching 10 stacks of either haste, mastery, or crit, the Heart of Azeroth temporarily overcharges, doubling the effect of the engine of ceaseless progress by 8 seconds, after which the stacks are removed. When you gain a stack of one of the engine buffs, you have a 20% chance to generate an additional attack and 10% chance to gain all 3 engine effects instead of a random one. It's complicated, very complicated, one way or the other. But it does say you get it from Mechagon hard mode. I don't know what the hell that means, but regardless, it seems to be from the 5-man. So this one is one that we'll probably end up getting. It doesn't seem very good, especially for Blood DK, but maybe mathematically it'll just be really good. It's really complicated. 10% damage reduction isn't horrible, but it's a 2-minute CD, so the secondary stats really have to carry it. And of course, I don't know if they will yet until we see the actual values and how it maths out. But anyway. Memory of Lucid Dreams. Clear your mind and attune yourself with the Heart of Azeroth, increasing your runic power generation rate by 100% and your leech by 874. That's really good. Obviously, leech is a big thing when you're tanking. Your runic power regeneration rate is also big, but it's a 3-minute CD, so I don't know if I like that one. Your spells and abilities have a chance to refund 50% of the runic power spent on them and immediately heal you for 10,000. Okay, well, that sounds interesting. When Lucid Dreams refund some runic power, you gain... Wow. That's a really good miner. Oh my god, that's a really good miner. That has got to be the best miner for Blood DK. Because obviously we've been playing Blood DK. You know, one of the hardest things to combat. Massive, massive haste changes coming into BFA. We're getting a lot better with haste now, obviously, in BFA. It's going to get even better in Season 3, I'm sure. But one of the hardest parts about Blood DK is maximizing your runic power spent and your runes in general. So, yeah, that's really nuts. That is crazy. 50% of the runic power spent. That seems nuts. That seems like the best passive. I can't imagine how one would be better than that, especially since it gives versatility and healing. That's crazy. Anyway, Nullification Dynamo. Oh, let's see where that dropped from, though. Mysterious Treasure Map Mission. Huh. So it might be from islands, because treasure map missions, to my knowledge, only come from islands, but maybe there's something new that we have to find out. So, okay, Nullification Dynamo. 2.3 minute cooldown. Gain an empowered null barrier. Oh, yeah, what was the CD on this? Hold on. 3-minute cooldown on that. Yeah, so the actual major power isn't very good. Anyway, gain an empowered null barrier, absorbing 1,700 blah 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 damage for 10 seconds, and instantly removing all harmful magic, curse, poison, and diseases effects on you. Now that's interesting. It's a bit large of a CD, but again, it might be good on the pull. Every 15 seconds, gain a null barrier. Absorbing the magic. Oh, this is the magic one, of course. I forgot. Absorbing the next 34,000 magic damage you take for 10 seconds. When null barrier expires, it implodes, dealing shadow damage equal to the total amount absorbed. Okay, yeah, this is a really good one for times when you need magic. The fact that you're able to switch out easily is nice too, because this is going to be a great one for some magic situations. But as a Blood DK, I don't think this is going to be very good. The passive might actually, or the minor power might actually be better than the major power in this, because 2.5 minute CD, that's a lot of magic. I mean, what's compared to AMS? AMS heals for, or absorbs less, so that's interesting. Considerably less, actually, but I don't know. Anyway, that's a really long CD for magic damage. I don't think that's very good. All right, Sphere of... Oh, and where is it from? Let's see. Rust Bolt Requisition Crates. Okay, so that's another rep one. So these two seems like they're going to be extremely quick. You're going to get them from rep, so that's good. Okay, the Crucible Aflame. Blast your target with a ball of concentrated flame, dealing 21,000 fire damage to an enemy or healing an ally for 21,000. Wow. I'm actually going to be able to use this as tanking. That's interesting. Each cast of consecrated flame deals double the damage or healing of the last. This bonus resets after every third cast. Wow. Very unique one. Actually, this is kind of in the vein like what you're talking about with utility-based ones. Absolutely insane utility-based trait. And it's only 30-second CD. So that is really, really, really good. So yeah, this is good. I like this one. This seems really cool. 30-second CD, utility-based basically. It could increase your DPS as a tank, or obviously you could heal a lot of people. So that'd be really good. Your spells and abilities, a minor now. Spells and abilities have a chance to grant you Ancient Flame for 10 seconds, increasing your crit by 150 and your leech by 64. And causing your damage and healing spells to engulf their target, and Cleansing Flame for an additional 10% of the damage or healing done over 4 seconds. That's okay. It's not the best passive. Not one of the better ones we've seen, in my opinion, unless, again, the values are really overpowered. But it is interesting because, yeah, I mean, obviously it's good. A lot of these are good, but that one's not great if you ask me. Anyway, reach Heart of Azeroth level 70, then complete the quest Heart of Azeroth Essential Power. So this one might actually just be given to us because if it's legendary one is just based on completing a quest and getting AP, then surely the other one might be literally just gotten from Magni or something like that. But anyway, that's a really good one. I really like that one because it's very utility based, and that's what I hope for this system. All right, Touch of Everlasting. Your next depth is prevented, and you instead regenerate up to 10% of your maximum health and take 85% reduced damage for up to 10 seconds, or until you are healed above 70%. Wow. Oh, cannot occur more than once every 7.5 minutes. So it's just a better version of Purgatory, which obviously we don't have anymore. But as a Blood DK, especially in Mythic Plus dungeons, you really shouldn't be dying. Like, you should not be counting on dying once every 7.5 minutes. That seems like a problem. So anyway, the Sand of Infinity swirls around you, increasing your versatility by 0. That's really bad. If this versatility is reduced, this versatility is reduced by 50. Oh, well, now that actually turns out to be a great passive, because if that's a really high number, you should pretty much have this on 100% of the time. You never should die. But it does happen. And this is from Queen Azshara. So this is the one from Queen Azshara. So this one's going to be relatively easy to get to, provided it comes from normal and heroic off any like non-random chance. Okay, Vision of Perfection. That's me. Your spells... No, I'm just kidding. Your spells and ability have a chance to activate Vampiric Blood for 50% of its base cooldown. Okay. When Vision of Perfection activates, the cooldown of Vampiric Blood is reduced by 10 seconds. That is ridiculous. That seems like the best one. What the hell? Vampiric Blood is like arguably the best tanking CD in the video game, if you ask me. So that will be one that we want to see on other. This is the other one that we saw. People were talking about this. I think it's like Wings for Pally. I think Bear gets Frenzied Regen. No, it gives the Survival Instincts for Bear, right? So I don't know. We'll have to look at that. Anyway, Minor Power reduces the cooldown of Vampiric Blood by 16.5% and increases your versatility by 85%. When you activate Vampiric Blood, immediately heal for 5% of your maximum health. This is pretty ridiculous, honestly. This seems like it's just going to be overpowered as hell. Is this a tank-only one? Because I guess other classes can't get this one, right? If this is the case, this is best in slot for sure. Like, there's some good ones, but this one is crazy. Vampiric Blood is so useful for Blood DK. I mean, it's so good, right? So literally all you have to do is track how often this happens. I don't really understand what it means by 50% of its base cooldown. Have a chance to activate Vampiric Blood for 50% of its base cooldown. Did they mean duration? Is it a bug? It's not going to last for a minute and a half, 50% of that, right? Surely it means 5 seconds instead of 10 seconds. Or unless I'm misreading something, you guys will, I'm sure, let me know. Oh, anyway, that comes from Najatar Zone Achievement, the legendary one. So again, if it's based on that, that's probably going to mean it's an easy one to get. So anyway, World Vayne Boon, 2-minute CD. And this was no CD at all, right? Yeah. This is just completely passive. So it's a little bit boring, but it's extremely strong. Not an active ability, but very strong. Concentrate energy into the Heart of Azeroth, immediately causing 3 Azerite shards to erupt from the nearby ground. While within 8 yards of an Azerite shard, you heal for blah, blah, blah. Now that could be huge. That could be really big depending on how much healing that is. That could be really big. That's a 2-minute CD, so a little bit harder to use, but still very good. Every 1 to 25 seconds, a shard of Azerite erupts from the nearby ground for 18 seconds, granting you 0 strength while you are within 8 yards of it. So that sounds great too. I mean, these are really good, and we're going to have access to 2 passives, right? 2 minors. I keep saying passives. 2 minors, and then whichever one is in the major, it's going to activate another minor, right? So that's something to look at. So let's take a look at that now. And by the way, this is from War Mode. Interesting. I don't know how that could work, but yeah, I'd love to see those in action. So here's ones that we can't take. Let's just take a look at them. Heart of Azeroth erupts violently, dealing shadow damage to enemies. You gain 25% crit against the targets. So I hate that you can't get these as tanks. This is kind of unfortunate. This is from Battleground and Brawls. I definitely wish that they didn't do this, because even though they're like obviously not for tanking, it would be nice to be able to use DPS ones. Focus excess Azerite into the Heart of Azeroth, then expel that energy outward, dealing blah, blah, blah fire damage. Oh, that's cool. It's like a channeled ability. That's neat, actually. And I'm not even going to read them because we can't use them. Anyway, Guardians of... And this was from Keystone... Oh, so this is the DPS one. So I guess that's why we can't use them, because you're only going to be able to actually get one of them. Anyway, call upon Azeroth to summon a Guardian. This is the Queen Azshara one. Guardian of Azeroth to aid you in combat for 20 seconds. Each time an Azerite spike deals damage, the cooldown of condensed life force is reduced by 6 seconds. Each time the Guardian of Azeroth casts a spell, you gain 4% haste, stacking up to 5 times. Oh, that's interesting. But that's a 5-minute CD. Seems like it's going to be really big, though. I mean, a 5-minute CD on an Azerite trait. Like, that's crazy. And then Purification Protocol. Call down a purifying beam upon the target area, dealing a blah, blah, blah fire damage. Has a low chance to immediately annihilate any specimens deemed unworthy. Huh. When an enemy dies with the beam, your damage is increased. Oh, wow. That's really nice. Oh, yeah, this is the one that Sap was talking about. Any aberration struck by the beam is stunned for 8 seconds. Now, I don't know how many aberrations there are, this expansion. What was that? Seed of Anar? Oh, that's a healer. Somebody's, like, in here using these, and they're making things happen to me as well. The Unbound Force. Unleash the force within the heart of Azeroth, causing shards of Azerite to strike your target. This damage is increased by 300% if it critically strikes, and has a 25% increased crit chance. Wow. That's so unlucky that it wouldn't crit, basically. Each time the Unbound Force causes a critical strike, it immediately strikes the target with an additional Azerite shard, up to 5. Wow. And this is like the one that we were just looking at. You get a salvage crate, okay. Each time you critically strike, you gain a stack of Reckless Force, up to 7. Every 10 seconds, your next spell or ability will blast your target with a bolt of Azerite. So anyway, these are cool, but yeah, the tank ones seem like way more useful, and I don't know which ones damage dealers cannot take, but maybe we should switch to Frost actually and check. But anyway, so if I were to give my recommendations, let's take another look at them all. So, you know, let's just go through each one and kind of give it like a ranking here, okay? This seems like it would be pretty good overall. This one's like a decent one, right? Elements protect you, reducing the damage you take from each attack. That's okay. It's all right. 1.5 minute CD. It's kind of like mid-tier, right? Anima of Life and Death. Draw upon your own vitality. This seems like fucking spectacular. You know what I mean? Like absolutely spectacular for 5-mans. The amount of healing it could potentially do on a 2-minute CD is going to be massive. But 2-minute CDs are tough as Blood DK. You know, you gotta make sure you're using them well, because you could easily waste this. If you're not going to use this well, it's probably not going to be very valuable. So this is like tier 1. You know, this is upper tier, but it's going to be hard to use, frankly. Okay. Azeroth's Undying Gift. Reduce all damage you take. This is like best in slot for sure if you're ever worried about dying. And a lot of people are going to be worried about dying as Blood DK, because on the pull is very, very dangerous for Blood DK. We've been cataloging this, talking about this for years now, actually. The first 2 globals of combat are extremely dangerous, especially if you do not start combat properly. Like if your first global is D&D, then your second global is, you know, abilities, then you're going to have even more problems, right? So this is how it starts. Blood DK always gets pounded before you can get your first death strike off. That's just how it works. And that's actually not a bad thing as long as you can survive the combat. Sometimes you don't survive the combat. If that's the case, this is best in slot. Top tier situationally, but probably not the best one out there. This one just seems way too complicated to use very well. It's a 2-minute CD, and you gain so many different stats. Secondary stats aren't great anyway for Blood DK right now. But, you know, maybe mathematically this one will just be overpowered. I don't know. But the actual 10% damage reduction for a 2-minute CD, that's kind of bad. I mean, that's not going to help you tank very well. So the secondary stats would have to carry it, is what I mean to say. So that's kind of like low tier, I would say. Memory of Lucid Dreams. Clear your mind and attune yourself with heart, increasing your runic power, regeneration rate by 100%, and your leech by. This is unbelievable. This seems like it's going to be extremely good, and I have to say this is tier 1. This will definitely be one of the best ones out there, and I don't know where you're going to get it. Looks like it might be from Islands, something like that, but if you can get this quickly, I think this is going to be extremely good for 5-mans, especially because the leech really exponentiates when you're talking about fighting dozens of mobs. And obviously, runic power regeneration rate is way more important in 5-mans than it would be in raids. The problem is, again, 3-minute CD. Hard to use very well. Some of these are really impactful on long CDs. Some of these are moderately impactful on long CDs. This one feels like it might end up being moderately impactful on long CDs. So even though I would say this is an upper tier one, I feel like it's not going to be very easy to use. But the thing is, the passive is insane. So I think that's probably a really good passive. We'll come back to passives. But anyway, major one. This is the magic one. I think this is absolutely bottom tier for Blood DK. You do not need any extra magic damage reduction. But in case you do, this is going to be a very, very, very good one. Sphere of Suppression. A heavy pulse of suppression energy, reducing the movement speed of... Did I miss this one? Unleash a heavy pulse of suppression energy, reducing the movement speed of all enemies within 15 yards and reducing their damage done to you by 10%. If it hits an enemy, your movement speed is increased by 50%. Enemies who melee you will attack 8% slower. I guess I missed this one somehow. Sorry about that. I missed this one. And you gain 434 haste and 15% increased attack speed. Okay. Well, I guess I missed this one somehow. This is pretty good, but again, this is like, you don't really need this as Death Knight, right? This is like a kiting one. A 70% slow we basically already have. But this is going to be great for other tanks, probably. 45-second CD for a 70% slow for 8 seconds. That's going to be huge for kiting. The actual damage reduction on it is kind of just... It's a 45-second CD, so it's just weaker. Pretty much just weaker than this one, right? Like, the slow does not help you whatsoever in combat, so... unless you need to kite, right? Anyway, Crucible Aflame. We read this one, obviously. Blast your target with a ball of concentrated flame. And this is a really, 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 really cool one. 30-second CD. I really like this idea. I would like to see more utility-driven ones that are almost purely utility, like that they're not actually there to help you, but they're there to help the group. I think this is one everybody should consider as a tank, and I would say this is above average, maybe like top tier, especially because of how much healing you might be able to put out. But the thing is, can you heal yourself with it? If you can heal yourself with it, then I think it's absolutely a stellar pick. Maybe you can only heal other people. I don't know. We'll find that out, but... yeah, it's a really good one, and it looks like it's going to be pretty easy to come by, so that's good. Your next death is prevented. I think this one's absolutely bottom tier, one of the worst ones, just because, again, you really should not... If you're dying reliably as a Blood Decay, let's try to fix that problem, not rely on traits of some sort. Anyway, your spells and abilities have a chance. This is, like, got to be best in slot, right? I don't know. It's hard to think this isn't best in slot, and it's kind of frustrating because it's a passive. It's like, this is, like, the best one. And I'm not even going to get an ability out of it. So I don't know, but it's unbelievable. I feel like this is mandatory. The minor power itself is insane. I feel like you have to have that minor power. We'll come back to that one. That was definitely tier 1, number 1 minor power. But yeah, the major power passive as well is huge. Vision of Perfection activates. The cooldown of Vamp Blood is reduced by 10 seconds. So basically, you're just going to have Vamp Blood up 100% of the time, right? I mean, like, between its actual CD... Unless I'm missing, the wording is confusing to me for some reason. Chance to activate Vamp Blood for 50% of its base cooldown. I don't understand what that means, but if they're talking about base duration, then yeah, this is going to give you a lot of Vamp Blood coverage in the entire dungeon. Oh, looks like we're DCing here, so not good. Anyway, the final one, what was it here? Vayne Boon. Concentrated energy into the heart of Azeroth immediately causes 3 Azerite shards to erupt. This one's like... yeah, it's okay. It's going to depend on how much healing it does, and we don't know that yet for some reason. It seems like it's going to be okay, but not great. Okay, so I would say this one's mid-tier at best, right? And then let's take a look at the passives. Definitely, the passives I keep saying passives. The minors are going to be probably just as important as the one major. So this one seems like it would actually be pretty good, like a decent one. Again, this is kind of like mid-tier, but a decent one. This one is definitely best in slot. I mean, you got to have this on your gear. Reducing the cooldown of Vamp Blood and increasing your versatility by 85 is so good. I mean, it's unbelievable. And then obviously turning Vamp Blood into a small healing CD as well. Unbelievable. Because I assume immediately healing for 5% of your maximum health. That maximum health is going to be calculated after the Vamp Blood, meaning plus the healing. It's going to multiply to no end. Absolutely best in slot. Tier 1, number 1 minor power. Vision of Perfection. Hopefully we can get this pretty quickly. I don't know what the lower ones look like. This is the epic one. Hopefully we can get the epic one quickly. Sands of the Infinity swirl around you, increasing your versatility. This versatility is reduced by 50% or if you die. Again, this is pretty decent. It's mid-tier, right? I'd say like definitely above average because you should not die. Again, like if you're dying in 5-mans frequently, we have some problems. You're doing keys that you're not ready for one way or the other, so maybe you shouldn't take it. But if you cannot die throughout an entire 5-man, then this is going to be probably just the best passive one in the game for buffing you over a period of time. Spells and abilities have a chance to grant you Ancient Flame, increasing your crit and leech, and causing your damage and healing spells to engulf their target in Cleansing Flame for an additional 10% of the damage or healing done over 4 seconds. So, like, that's okay. It's like, basically just an offensive trait. I don't think I would recommend that one. It can give you leech, I guess, but realistically, I don't understand. I guess it could heal you. Based on this one, it sounds like if you heal yourself, you might get this from the healing. So that actually is okay. It's going to make you heal for extra. So that's pretty good. That might end up being pretty good. It's going to depend a lot on the values. The intrinsic nature of it doesn't sound outstanding, but it's, you know, it's mid-tier otherwise. Enemies who melee you will attack 8% slower. What? And you gain 434 haste and 15% attack speed. Huh? That's like ridiculous. That can't go live like that. Am I reading this wrong? Enemies who melee you will attack 8% slower. That should not even be for tanks. That's ridiculous. That's like mandatory. Is that not mandatory? An 8% attack speed decrease is going to reduce like tons and tons and tons of damage. If that goes live like this, again, unless I'm missing something, very possible. I'm kind of short-sighted on some of these topics. If this is going live the way it is and it reads the way I think it reads, it's mandatory. So anyway, Nullification Dynamo. This is the magic one. Same deal. It's definitely good. It's probably better than the actual major one, though, to be honest, because the major one is like, you don't really need a 2.5 minute AMS, right? Like, that's terrible. You're going to get way more value out of actual AMS. So as a blood decay, it's useless. But the actual implosion part is really nice. Like, provided you're actually taking magic damage, that could probably do a fair amount of damage. So we'll have to see. Anyway, your spells and abilities have a chance to refund 50% of the runic power spent on them. This is tier 1 number 1 as well. I feel like you have to have this one. This is insane. You know, you're going to be able to have 3 total. So I'd say these 2 that we talked about, Visions of Perfection and Memory of Lucid Dream, regardless of the other one being potentially bugged or maybe overtuned, this one is mandatory as hell. So you definitely want to have that one. But again, it's attached to a major power that's not great. This is the really complicated one. We already went over this. It's going to depend a lot on whether or not the stats are really valuable from it. And as of right now, I mean, I don't know how many stats it's going to get up to, but 31 haste and all that doesn't seem good at all. And then what else we still got here? Okay, this is the, when you fall below 35% health, gain a bunch of armor for 4 seconds, then that's a pretty good, I mean, this is like a really good all-around defensive one. Probably going to be good for raids, honestly. That's probably not going to be bad for raids at all. But the fact that it can only occur once every 2 minutes is kind of worrisome, so I don't know. You're probably going to you would want to use this more often than that, right? I wish they would just nerf it and make it so it can occur as often as possible, because, oh, okay, I'm decent. Well, unfortunately, let's see if we can get right back on. But anyway, that one there is like, it's good, but it's kind of a little too passive for my taste. I quite like the actual, what's it called? The major power. But I'm not a big fan of the minor power on that one. And that's a problem. You want to have a good major power that has a good minor power. Let's see if we can get back online. If not, that's going to be it. Won't get to read the other ones. But definitely, I mean, we already know what the best ones are. There's no way any minor power is going to be better than those 2. So that's probably the end of it, right? Let's see if we can get back on. Look at the last 2. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You really want a good minor power attached to a good major power. I don't know exactly which one we'll end up taking for a major power since they're so fun, but you want one that you're not going to have to constantly respec from, because like if you think about it, you know, you could reload these whenever you want, but it's going to be a little bit before you unlock all the minor ones, I assume. And yeah, it looks like we're not getting back on. But anyway, it looks like, you know, you're going to be able to get at least one automatically. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it seems like once you have 50, you have at least 1 minor or 2 minors and 1 major unlocked via the extra one from the major. So yeah, I'm definitely looking at the Vamp Blood one as one of the top tier ones. I'm definitely looking at the utility one. That one's really, really, really cool. And, you know, then the rest we've given our opinions on. So that's that. Thanks for watching. If you guys have additional comments, let me know. We'll make a more proper video on this when the stuff's actually playable, when we can actually do real content with it, especially when it comes to live. So thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.